In the grand kingdom of Babylon, Daniel stood out as a wise and honest man, God's friend. He was known far and wide for his kindness, his wisdom, and his unwavering faith. People would often come to Daniel for advice, and he always tried to help them with a gentle heart and a listening ear. Even though he lived in a land far from his home, Daniel never forgot who he was or the God he served. King Darius noticed Daniel's goodness and made him the most important helper in the land. The king trusted Daniel more than anyone else, and he knew that Daniel would always do what was right no matter what. Daniel's honesty and hard work made him shine brighter than all the other officials.
Daniel is the best helper in my whole kingdom. I will put him in charge of everyone else. No one is as trustworthy or as wise as Daniel.
But not everyone was happy. Some officials grew jealous and plotted against Daniel. They didn't like seeing Daniel honored above them, and their hearts filled with envy. They whispered to each other, wondering how they could bring Daniel down.
It's not fair. Why should Daniel get all the praise and attention?
Why does the king like Daniel so much? We should be the important ones. We've worked hard too, but Daniel always seems to be one step ahead.
They watched Daniel closely, hoping to catch him doing something wrong, but he was always honest and fair. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find a single mistake. Daniel treated everyone with respect, and he never cheated or lied.
He's perfect. There's nothing we can use against him.
We can't find any fault in him at all, unless it has something to do with his God. Daniel's faith is the only thing that makes him different from us.
That's when they had a wicked idea. If they couldn't find a real reason to accuse Daniel, maybe they could make one up by using his faith against him. They knew Daniel prayed to God every day. No matter what happened, Daniel always took time to talk to God, thanking him and asking for help. They decided to use Daniel's faith to trap him. They began to whisper and plan, thinking of ways to get Daniel in trouble for doing what was right. Daniel's love for God was no secret. Everyone in the kingdom knew that Daniel trusted God more than anything else. He prayed 3 times a day, every day. Morning, noon, and night, Daniel would kneel by his window and pray no matter what others thought. The jealous men whispered and schemed, planning to use Daniel's goodness against him. They were determined to find a way to make Daniel look bad in front of the king.
We'll use his prayers to get him in trouble. If we can make a rule against praying, Daniel will surely break it.
Their sneaky plan was set. They hurried off to see the king, ready to trick him into making a new law. They believed they were clever, but they had forgotten how powerful Daniel's God truly was. Daniel's faith was stronger than any trick or trap.
This time we'll win. Daniel won't be able to escape our plan.
But the story was just beginning. Daniel's journey was about to take a surprising turn, and the whole kingdom would soon be watching. Daniel's faith would soon be tested in a way no one expected. Even Daniel himself didn't know what was coming next. The kingdom was about to witness something amazing. Daniel's trust in God would shine brighter than ever before, and everyone would see just how special God's helper truly was. The jealous officials went to King Darius with a plan.
Oh, King Darius, live forever! We have a wonderful idea to honor you.
Make a law for 30 days no one can pray to anyone but you. If they do, they'll be thrown to the lions.
The king, flattered, agreed and sealed the law. In Babylon, a law sealed by the king could never be changed. The officials grinned, knowing Daniel would never stop praying to his God.
Daniel will have to choose, stop praying or face the lions.
They thought their plan was perfect, but they forgot. Daniel's God was greater than any law or king. The trap was set, but the real story was about to unfold. When Daniel heard about the new law, he knew it was meant to trap him. The law said no one could pray to anyone except the king for 30 days. But Daniel didn't hide or stop praying. He understood the risks, but his faith was more important than his safety. Even though he knew the consequences could be severe, Daniel chose to stay true to his beliefs.
My trust is in God, not in the king's law. No matter what happens, I will keep praying to him, because he is always with me.
Daniel went to his room, opened his window toward Jerusalem and prayed, just as he always did. He didn't let fear change his routine or his devotion. He prayed morning, noon, and night, making time for God no matter what was happening around him. Daniel thanked God for his blessings and asked for help and strength to face the challenges ahead. Daniel's faith was stronger than fear. He trusted that God would be with him no matter what happened. The officials, who wanted to get Daniel in trouble, spied on him and saw him praying just as they expected.
Aha! We caught him. Now we can report him to the king and see our plan succeed.
They rushed to tell the king, eager to see Daniel punished for his faithfulness. The officials were certain their plan had worked perfectly, and they felt proud of their cleverness. But Daniel's courage was about to show everyone the true power of faith and trust in God. The officials believed they had won, celebrating their victory over Daniel. But God had a different plan, one that no one could have expected. Daniel's prayers echoed louder than any law, reaching God and showing his unwavering faith. The stage was set for a miracle that would change everything. Daniel's trust in God would soon inspire a whole kingdom, showing everyone what true faith looks like. The officials didn't know what was coming next, and they were about to be very surprised. But Daniel did. He trusted God completely, knowing that faith can overcome any challenge. The officials hurried to King Darius, eager to share troubling news about Daniel's prayers. They whispered and plotted, their faces full of sly smiles, knowing the king would be forced to act. King Darius listened, his heart sinking as he realized what this meant for his trusted friend.
Daniel broke your law, O king. He continues to pray to his God even though you signed the decree. The law is clear, he must face the lions.
Oh no, what have I done? I never wanted this to happen to Daniel.
The king realized he'd been tricked by his own officials. He spent the whole day searching for a way to save Daniel, reading every law and arguing with the officials. But the law could not be changed. No matter how hard he tried, he was trapped by his own decree. As the sun set, the king's heart grew heavier. With great sadness, he gave the order for Daniel to be taken to the lion's den. He watched as Daniel was led away, feeling powerless and full of regret.
Daniel, may your God rescue you. I'm so sorry, my friend. I wish I could do more.
Daniel was lowered into the den, and a heavy stone sealed the entrance. The king's royal seal was pressed into the clay, making sure no one could open it. That night, the king could not sleep or eat. He tossed and turned, haunted by worry and guilt. He refused all music and comfort, thinking only of Daniel in the darkness below. In his chamber, the king looked up at the stars and prayed quietly, hoping with all his heart that Daniel's God would do a miracle and save his friend from the lions. Meanwhile, the officials waited outside, confident that Daniel was gone for good. They whispered and smirked, sure their plan had worked. But the night was not over. The palace was quiet, but something incredible was about to happen. Deep in the den, Daniel's faith shone brighter than ever. Surrounded by lions, he prayed with courage, trusting that God was with him. The king's heart was heavy with sadness, but a small spark of hope remained. He clung to the thought that maybe, just maybe, Daniel would be saved. The lion's den was silent, but God was at work. A miracle was coming, and soon everyone would see the power of faith and hope. In the darkness of the lion's den, Daniel was calm.
God, I trust you.
Suddenly, a bright light filled the den. An angel appeared. The angel gently closed the lions' mouths. The fierce lions became as gentle as kittens. Daniel spent the night safe, surrounded by lions who now purred and snored beside him. The angel stood guard, and Daniel rested peacefully. While the king worried and the officials celebrated, Daniel slept soundly. God's power turned a place of fear into a place of peace. The lion's den became a safe haven. Daniel's trust in God was unshakable. The angel's presence was a silent promise. God protects those who trust him. The night passed quietly. Daniel's faith had made him fearless. The lions' roars were replaced by gentle snores. God had shut the mouths of the lions. Daniel was safe. At sunrise, King Darius hurried to the lion's den.
Daniel, has your God saved you?
Silence, then Daniel's voice rang out.
My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. I am unharmed.
The king was overjoyed. Daniel was lifted from the den, not a scratch on him. Everyone was amazed. The lions were calm, and Daniel was safe. The king's sadness turned to joy. Daniel's God had done the impossible. The officials were stunned. The whole kingdom saw the power of Daniel's faith. Daniel's trust in God had saved him. The miracle was undeniable. King Darius was amazed and angry at the officials who had tricked him. He punished the men who plotted against Daniel. Then, he made a new law for the whole kingdom.
Everyone must honor the God of Daniel. He rescues and saves. His kingdom will never end.
The story of Daniel and the lions spread everywhere. Daniel returned to his important job, honored and respected. He kept praying and trusting God. The wicked plan had failed. Daniel's God became famous throughout the land. Faith had triumphed over fear. In a quiet village, Elder Eli gathered children under a fig tree. Did you hear the story of Daniel and the lions? The children nodded. Daniel's bravery didn't come from strength, but from trusting God. When you trust God, your heart is brave, even when you're scared. Sometimes doing the right thing is hard, but God is always with you. You can pray for help just like Daniel did. Remember, always trust God, always do what's right, and never let fear stop you. The God who saved Daniel is with you too. He will give you a brave heart when you trust him.
The children smiled, feeling braver already. Daniel's story was now their lesson too. Trust in God makes every heart courageous.